Guys, so today I have this huge ball of t-shirt yarn that we made in the last video, and I decided to crochet just a headband because, I don't know, I thought about making like a cutesy charm bracelet or like a necklace. You can do all kinds of stuff, but I'm going to make just a simple like big crochet loop that'll fit around my head. You know, I can wear it on my wrist like bracelet, or I can put it around my neck like a necklace. You know, I could hook a charm on there or something. I don't know, I just feel like that's going to be the most useful thing. So what I did with the rest of the shirt is I just kind of cut all the way around and everywhere to try to fit the entire shirt into this ball, but I ended up with some pieces like this that have all these seams on it and stuff, so I'm gonna have to cut these off as I go. And the great thing about this is that instead of having to tie knots, which can be big and bulky, you could just sew it together. You know, cut off all these little chunky bits and then sew it together, and it will be seamless. I don't know how many chunky bits I have or how much that's going to affect it. I'm using a size 10 or J crochet hook. I don't know if that's going to be big enough, but it's the biggest one that I have, so it'll do. FYI, this t-shirt yarn that I made is getting lint and like dust everywhere. So if you have allergies to dust particles or linty like fibers, get a fan maybe, or I don't know, do it outside. To start a crochet, you have to do a slip knot. You can either take your finger, wrap it around twice, pull the first loop over. I don't know if you can see this. Pull the first loop over, then pull the second loop over, and then this is difficult. And that loop makes your slip knot, or slip knot, cross it over, cross that bit over, and then pull this through there, and that makes a slip knot. See how you can make a big loop and then you just slip it down and it makes that loop. So crocheting is really simple. If you can hold a stick, you can crochet. It is the easiest of all the string crafts. Like, it's easier than braiding. It's just a loop. So to hold the yarn, a lot of people kind of weave it through their fingers like this. You can either hold your crochet hook like this, or you can hold it, I've seen people hold it like a pencil, but that's not how I learned. So for crochet, all you gotta do, I don't know how you can see this, guys, is you grab it through and you make a loop. And then you do that. That's the easy part. That's called a chain. You just pull it through, make some loops. Sometimes that happens. You don't want to pull it too tight either, but pull it through, make a loop. You do that until it is the desired length. And that's all you gotta do. Make a loop. How hard is that? It's not. So that is a chain. Just a bunch of loops pulled through each other. See, there's a couple of those little chunky bits. I'm hoping they will disappear. With a couple more. Let's see here. Okay, so that's, let me do this so you guys can see. Maybe a couple more loops. Okay, so when you measure this around your head, disregard this little chunky bit. You want Get my hair all tangled up. Okay. Alright, so the reason you don't want to do that too tight is because then, let's see here, make sure this is straight. A little, kind of looks like a braid. And what you do is, you stick it through there. So there's like little deals, you stick your hook in there, and you make a loop. And I'm going to do just a simple single crochet where you pull it through the hole, make a loop, and then pull it through both of those loops, and you're back to one loop. Loop, loop, loop. Loop becomes a funny word after you say it along. So you stick it through the hole. Oh, and this little bit, you don't have to cut it off. All you got to do is put it between the loop that you're sticking your crochet hook through and the string that you're holding in this hand. So you pull it through the loop. You got two on there. And then you pull it through that loop. Over and over. Very relaxing. Loop-de-loop. Through that loop. Through both the loops. Through that loop. Through both loops. And you just keep going around and around, making some loops. You can see it's a lot thicker. It looks pretty cute from this side. So I'm going to do this all the way around until it's my desired thickness, and then put it on my head and see what happens. Alright, so when you get all the way around, this is two rows here, the chain row and then one on top of it. When you get back to this side, there's like this little braided thing on top, and there's lots of variations that you can do with that. You can either go, this is hard to show here, you can either go just through that loop, which will leave the bottom row there and it will leave that line in your pattern, or you can go through both loops and that line will disappear. And that's what I like to do, because I don't like necessarily that line that forms. So to make that line disappear, I'm going to go through both loops. I definitely think that crochet is one of the easiest string arts that there are. And I mean, I've been crocheting since I was like 10. And I mean, it does take some practice, but once you get the hang of it, you got it, and you can make so many things. If you do want to really get into crocheting, if you're not already, The Art of Crochet by Teresa. Absolutely love her videos. She's really thorough with her explanations, probably way more than I am. She makes like flowers and all sorts of neat stuff, because I cannot follow crochet patterns because they try to abbreviate everything to make it shorter, and it's like crochet one single slip stitch and the next 8 holes. And if you've ever looked at crochet patterns, they're really hard to understand. I love crochet videos, hate crochet patterns. So one of my favorite things about crochet is that if you get, through all this and you don't like it and you want to start over, you just pull the loops out and you'd start all over a billion times, which would probably be, a big waste of time. I love how until you like tie the final knot at the end, it doesn't even exist. Like it's still just a piece of string until you tie it. I wonder how thick I'm going to make this. Okay, so I'm almost to the end here. So I got like 4 more. Okay, so I like to test things before I officially tie them off. So I like to pull this loop way out here. I mean, you can pull it all the way out. So that way it doesn't die. But I got this cute little crochet headband. Seems like it'll be fit pretty well here. I think I might go through and sew some beads on it too. Maybe cut those little chunky bits off or sew a bead to it. But there's my headband, and then all you gotta do to complete your crochet project. So I've got the loop here that you made with the hook, the last loop. You just cut it and then pull it that way, and then I like to stick it back in there, and I just kind of weave it in and out, and that's called hiding the tail. Just, you know, wherever. I don't know if that's accurate, but that's what I do. Just wherever it'll go. I mean, some people like to get the big crochet needles for regular yarn and just sew it back in, but I just take my hook through there and pop it in and out. Until it's all gone. Okay, so this is my finished product. Not sure which is inside, which is outside, but it's pretty cute. Let's see if it fits around my wrist. Not really. If I stretch it out. Yeah. No. I'm gonna have to make a separate bracelet out of this. But I got a lot. Like I did 3 rounds and I still got all this left. I have this much left. And this is cutting off circulation in my hand. But it'll look cute on my head. Sew on some beads. But yeah, so this used to be a shirt, and now it's a headband, and who knows what else.